We will have the 5 red lights on here in Japan for Tier 3. As Raheem leads us away down into turn 1. Gets a great start, does Raheem. And comfortably away as El Prat into P2, as well as a lot of kerfuffle in the background here. Some cars going off. Everyone kept it relatively clean. No one sidewards just yet. As everyone battling the way through. MQK with a great start up the order. As off the track goes Cthulhu. Cthulhu on the grass. And damage for someone there. Was it Ash? I think it was Ash. Ash again with some damage on lap 1. As in the background, that's Paige losing out. Paige down the order. And Paige struggling here as we head side by side. And off the track that we go onto the gravel. And off again as the Ferrari of RJ really struggling as Jimmy Dwyer battling as well with Fizzy Boy. As RJ still trying to find a way through. Paige, Abe also on the rear as NMX James now side by side with El Prat gets through as Raheem already 2 seconds down the road. What a start it's been for Raheem. As Ansu off the track, Fizzy Boy damage for the Cyber here. As in the background, Jimmy Dwyer off on the grass, and in the background, Paige out of the race. And it's a lap 2 safety car, and Paige crashes at the hairpin, and heartbreak for Paige. Had such a great qualifying, and Paige out of the race here on lap 2. An early safety car that will unfortunately cost Raheem his 2-second lead that he built up. Such a strong start for Raheem. He's got to let the safety car go into the boxes. All the drivers pretty spread out now. And when is Raheem going to go? We will see the safety car still out there. So Raheem out of the final corner. He's dropped the hammer and dropped the throttle. And Raheem now in the McLaren. 7/10 gap. Good restart for the McLaren drivers. We're very close in behind. NMX James right on the rear of El Prat. Not close enough to making a move though. Billy and Penguin right on the rear as well, as Dobo didn't get the best of restarts. As Raheem, what's happened Raheem? He's made a mistake at turn 1. Out of the Dagnas, we're also side by side in behind with the Red Bull as well of Dobo, as Ash watching it as RJ goes deep. Ash going to try and find a switchback as we're 3 wide out of the hairpin. We're so close here. Dobo going to try and find his way around the outside of the Ferrari of RJ. Big contact between Dobo and RJ. As Dobo going to look for the switchback here. RJ leaves the track. Dobo now going to try and get through on the inside. And a lovely move there from Dobo as Ash going to try and work his way through. And keeps it ahead as Ash gets through on RJ. Side by side they go. Do the Mercedes and the Ferrari. Raheem can watch this battle along as well, as Billion gonna look for a send on the inside of the chicane. Oh, and a big contact between El Prat and Billion now down to P4. Northey still carrying damage as well. Can Northey get through on the Aston Martin driver? As Ash also looking on the rear. Jimmy though down into turn 1. On the outside of Dobo, unable to get through. Northey shaping for a move. Northey gets through on Jimmy. And can he get round the outside? Lovely move from Northey there. The Williams driver up into P8. Get ahead of Jimmy Dwyer down into turn 1. Side by side they go. And Jimmy has to back out as Ash gets ahead. As Northey in the chat says, need good points for the Northey/Williams team after my disaster class. I'm guessing that's Paige. And Northey going to have to back out as Ash tries to search his way through for these battling drivers. Oh my lord! Northey coming into the box and Ash almost picking up damage. Thankfully, I believe, survived without it. As Jimmy now on the rear. Fizzy Boy going to try and send it into the hairpin. Fizzy does leave some space. A little bit of a wheel bang, wheel tap between the two drivers. As Jimmy. Meanwhile, El Prat now charging on Raheem. Can El Prat get ahead of Raheem? We're here on lap 12. Pit stops coming soon. And El Prat now up into P2. Ahead of the McLaren driver. Oh no! El Prat in the wall! El Prat! The V-carb around! Why is he spun out of there? Oh, absolute heartbreak. The tricky traction zone out of the hairpin, and I wasn't even paying attention, I was looking at the chat. And El Prat, who was having the race of his life. Possibly thinking about getting his damage fixed, but maybe it'll be a bit later on. Because he's up currently on the hards, needs to stretch them a little bit longer before he goes on to the mediums. As Ansu now up into P9. As Ash now into the box, on for medium tyres. Billion now ahead of Raheem. Raheem charging on the rear of the Haas driver. And down into turn 1, Raheem pulls out late but gets ahead. What can he do as Ash now on the rear of Cthulhu? And down the inside goes Ash. DRS enabled now. And James, can he get through on Raheem? Raheem going to try and go defensive. James though to the inside. Side by side they go. Raheem round the outside. Still side by side. Contact between the Ferrari and the McLaren. And James, can he get through? Raheem's still there poking a nose in. And James gets through. Big contact. Damage for Raheem. And that's surely the McLaren's race done and dusted. No win for Raheem here, unfortunately. Big damage for Raheem. The whole right side of his front wing is gone. And A54 on the rear of Northey. And up to 130R. Can Abe get ahead already? Yes, he does. As Cthulhu into 130R. Side by side we go. Cthulhu has to back out. And round the outside goes the Aston Martin driver. Contact though. Onto the grass goes the Red Bull. Or the Aston Martin. And as we exit the final corner, can Jamie get back ahead of Ansu here? As these two have been battling. One big contact between the Red Bull and the Aston gets through. Anyway, Ansu on the rear of Jimmy Dwyer now. And on the final lap, Ansu moves to the inside and gets ahead of Jimmy Dwyer. Jimmy did well to defend, but unable to put up with it for much longer as Ayub gets through on Northey. On the front row, it'll be NMX James and Billy and Penguin. And for the second time this season, as we finish round 3 here in Japan, NMX James will round the final corner and will win for Ferrari for the second consecutive race. Meanwhile, Billy and Penguin finishes P2, followed by Raheem, if he can hold on to P3 for his first ever WHF podium. Raheem, who started from pole, will finish P3 ahead of Sci-Fi Mega Hype and Dobo, followed by Ash and Ansu. And Raheem gets his first podium